So, good afternoon, everybody. It's a real pleasure to be here in Vilnius today. Thank you, Charlotte. And as Charlotte said, I'll talk a little bit about the relevance of the UK technology landscape, challenges and opportunities, with a particular relevance to the UK industrial strategy. So you might be wondering what the UK industrial strategy is all about. I'll talk about future challenges, the UK technology landscape. I'll therefore spend a little time talking about what the government is doing through the industrial strategy to put the UK at the forefront of industries of the future, to make the UK the very best place to start and grow a business, and to ensure that Britain is at the forefront of technological change and home to the businesses of tomorrow. And this is very much our intention. I'll also give you a brief overview of opportunities in the tech sector and what the UK business environment has to offer. So the industrial strategy. This is first and foremost, and it's important to consider it very much in these terms, a long-term plan to boost the productivity and the earning power of people and businesses throughout the UK. What we want to do is to use industrial policy to create an economy that works for everyone, that is highly innovative, highly skilled, and provides high-quality jobs, all supported by low taxation and smart regulation. So we talk about the industrial strategy in the context of four grand challenges. And you can see those up behind me now. This is about strengthening the foundations of productivity by encouraging innovation, developing high-quality jobs, and supporting UK businesses, and fostering growth in all parts of the United Kingdom. And I would emphasize, again, this objective of spreading prosperity across the UK. And part of this is about raising total research and development investment, our commitment to 2.4% of GDP by 2027. We also plan to increase the rate of R&D tax credit to 12% and invest £725 million in a new industrial strategy challenge fund, programs that will capture the value of innovation. And that's about creating the right business environment. It's about creating the right environment for innovation. And as far as people are concerned, because this is also an investment, we can forget about this sometimes, in people, we want to create a technical education system that rivals the very best in the world, that stands alongside our world-class higher education system. We want to invest an additional £400 million in maths, digital and technical education, helping to address the shortage of science, technology, and engineering and maths skills in the UK. We'll create a new national retraining scheme that supports people to reskill, beginning with £64 million worth of investment in digital and construction training. We also need to create the right infrastructure. We want to increase the National Productivity Investment Fund to £31 billion, supporting investments in transport, housing, and digital infrastructure. We'll support electric vehicles through £400 million worth of investment in charging infrastructure and an extra £100 million to extend the plug-in car grant. We'll boost our digital infrastructure with over £1 billion of public investment, including £176 million for 5G and £200 million for local areas to encourage the rollout of full fibre networks. At this point, I'm wondering if we can play a video. How does that work? You said looking towards the technical folks over there. No? No. Maybe we'll skip the video then. Nobody likes video, do they? Okay. I'll say a word about places as well, since that's relevant in the context of the industrial strategy. We want to agree local industrial strategies, so there's a macro industrial strategy, but also local industrial strategies that build on local strengths and deliver on economic opportunities in areas outside the southeast of the United Kingdom, particularly in the north and the Midlands in the UK. We create a Transforming Cities Fund that will provide £1.7 billion worth of investment for intra-city transport. This will fund projects that drive productivity by improving connections within city regions. And we'll provide £42 million to pilot a teacher development premium, testing the impact of a £1,000 budget for high-quality personal development for teachers working in areas that have fallen behind. So I talked a little bit about the grand challenges. Artificial intelligence and data first. So 4 grand challenges that we believe will be the future of high productivity growth in the United Kingdom. And these are the areas that we believe that if we drive investment into the United Kingdom will help to develop the supply chain in terms of export opportunity, but also companies locally that will create competitive industries for the future. There are also the social and the economic challenges that we face as a nation. You will recognize them. They're common to most societies, but our industrial strategy attempts to bring rigor and cooperation to the development of policy and cooperation in pursuing these challenges. Artificial intelligence and data, we intend, through the industrial strategy, to put the UK at the forefront of the AI and data revolution. Our mission is to use data, artificial intelligence, and innovation to transform the prevention, the early diagnosis, and the treatment of chronic diseases by 2030. Alongside industry, we're investing up to £110 million in AI skills to train and attract the best AI talent. And £75 million from the Industrial Strategy Challenge Fund will be used to support early diagnosis through the accelerating detection of disease challenge. Secondly, clean growth. We want to maximize the advantages for industry from the global shift to clean growth, because this is coming. This will be the economy of the future, and if we want to have first mover advantage, we need to invest today in the economic fundamentals of the economy of the future. So, our first mission under this challenge is to halve, at least, the energy use of new buildings by 2030. And secondly, to establish the world's first net zero carbon industrial cluster by 2040 and at least one low carbon cluster by 2030. We're investing £170 million through the Transforming Construction Industrial Strategy Challenge Fund. There were 67 pledges at Green Great Britain Week recently, including from HSBC, Amazon, and John Lewis. This is a challenge that we meet together with business. The future of mobility is all about becoming a world leader in the way that people, goods, and services move. Our mission here is to put the UK at the forefront of the design and the manufacturing of zero-emission vehicles, with all new cars and vans effectively zero-emission by 2040. And again, we're dedicating £78 million through the Challenge Fund to support innovation in electric motor technology, £90 million through the Transforming Cities Fund to create future mobility zones. The fourth and final of the grand challenges is the ageing society, harnessing the power of innovation to help meet the needs of an ageing society. Our mission is to ensure that people can enjoy at least 5 extra healthy, independent years of life by 2035, while narrowing the gap between the experience of the richest and of the poorest in society. So we're dedicating £100 million of the Healthy Ageing Industrial Strategy Challenge Fund to develop new products and services for older people. So scaling up in the UK. The UK tech sector is, broadly speaking, we think, in a good place. We've just been through the first few days of London Tech Week, which has become increasingly a magnet for businesses, for actors in civil society, for researchers, for academics around the tech sector, around the world. And if you were in London this week at London Tech Week, you'll have felt the energy, the sense of optimism about the future, the dynamism that exists within the sector. The number of British technology startups rose 14% in 2018 as VC investment in the UK hit £63 billion, almost twice that of Germany. And it has the fundamentals also for continued growth, with, for instance, 8 of the top 20 universities located in the UK, 40% of Europe's tech unicorns. But we're in the age of the network effect, and we must ensure that the UK continues to build on these strong fundamentals, making the UK the best place in the world to start and to grow a business. A significant part of this is ensuring that the wider ecosystem has the correct infrastructure for businesses to thrive. And that's why our industrial strategy included commitments to boost spending on 5G digital connectivity right across the UK, raising investment in research and development, and improving skills by investing in maths, digital and technical education. We're determined to make finance markets work better for small businesses at all stages of their development, including those in the tech sector, whether they're starting up, scaling up, or looking to stay ahead of the competition. I'd like to talk about AI. AI is an excellent example of where we put in place the beginnings of a comprehensive sector support framework for a new sector. In April of 2018, more than 50 leading businesses and organisations contributed alongside government to the development of a £1 billion AI sector deal that put the nation at the forefront of artificial intelligence, featuring almost £300 million of new private sector investment. The Office for AI in the United Kingdom is a joint government entity tasked with delivering many of the sector deal commitments, with work streams taking forward work on data, on skills, leadership, and driving private and public sector adoption in a way that commands public confidence and is for the betterment of society. By making these commitments, we are sending a signal to business, to science, to research communities around the world that the UK is committed to attracting and developing the best research talent in the world. It's providing the investment in AI needed to put the UK at the forefront of the AI and data revolution and world-leading standards and ethics, reaching out across public and private sectors to ensure that AI continues to transform the economy and boost UK productivity. In the interest of time, I will slide forward to the UK and business environment, because it's important, I think, also to focus on the environment that one builds around the sector in order to foster its growth. And we are, in the United Kingdom, very focused on this as a priority for government. The Enterprise Investment Scheme and the Seed Enterprise Investment Scheme are two of the UK's key investment task relief challenges designed to help smaller, higher-risk trading companies and social enterprises to raise capital investment by providing tax relief to their individual investors. These are overseen by Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, the UK Tax Authority. Known as the tax-advantaged venture capital schemes, these schemes provide a range of tax reliefs to individuals when they invest directly or indirectly through a fund qualifying in early-stage companies. Investors must hold those investments for 3 years, and for VCTs to qualify for upfront income tax relief. Entrepreneurs relief, introduced in 2008 in the United Kingdom, is also a key relief for individual entrepreneur investors, providing a 10% rate of capital gains tax for qualifying disposals of business assets by those connected to a business after 1 year of ownership. So, talent is a key also in this context. I mentioned a little bit earlier on UK's strength in the higher education sector. 4 of the world's top 10 universities in the United Kingdom. And this is for us a motor and a generator not just of innovation, but also of business growth. And as the United Kingdom leaves the European Union, of course, one of our roles, and an important role, is to ensure that we continue to access the talent and the skills that we need in the United Kingdom to continue to grow that community. Accelerators and talent. We've committed, as I said, to reaching 2.4% of GDP investment in research and development by 2027, 3% in the longer term. Increasing R&D investment is critical to ensuring that the UK remains at the forefront of new products and new markets. So through that industrial strategy that I've talked about, we're taking an R&D and innovation-led approach to boosting growth, creating new highly skilled jobs, and helping change people's lives for the better. I'll mention in this context UK Research and Innovation, UKRI. UKRI came into existence in April 2018 and brings together 7 research councils, Innovate UK and Research England. UKRI will increase collaboration between research disciplines and improve the links between research and innovation. It has an annual budget of £6.8 billion that will flow from 2019-20. And UKRI will be an important mechanism in achieving the ambition of that GDP growth on R&D by 2027 and helping to strengthen UK competitiveness as part of the industrial strategy. Monitoring and evaluating evidence will be a crucial element to funding decisions. So the Catapult Centres are a network of world-leading centres designed to transform the UK's capability for innovation in specific areas and to help drive future economic growth. Catapults are not-for-profit, independent, physical centres which connect businesses with the UK's research and academic communities. Each Catapult Centre specialises in a different area of technology, but all offer a space with the facilities and the expertise to enable businesses and researchers to collaboratively solve key problems and develop new products and services on a commercial scale. Whether a business is in need of a new manufacturing process, a fresh approach to digital rights protection, or a new way of balancing energy demands in a future city environment, Catapults can help them. So I'll stop there. I hope that that gives you an overview of developments in the industrial strategy, how we connect the public and the private sectors in the United Kingdom alongside research and the broader community, with very much a focus on tackling those 4 grand challenges under the industrial strategy, and I'd be very happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you. Where would you like me?
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your presentation and giving us an insight into the UK system. And I'm sure a lot of people here and also from other countries can learn from your system. Well, my first question basically is, well, we had a panel debate already this morning. And we saw that for some countries it might be really hard to make choices. But you've made a choice, right? You have 4 grand challenges. My question is, was it hard to take those decisions and go for those 4 choices?
That's a very good question, and I think from our perspective, of course, particularly with a large and diverse economy such as that of the United Kingdom, where there's a lot of independent actors who have vested interests in particular sectors, it would have been entirely possible to construct an industrial strategy that had 10 or 12 or 14 or 16 grand challenges. But in a sense, that would have been a loss of nerve by policymakers, because the reality is that a strategy is not a strategy unless it drives investment towards a set of priorities. And in establishing these as the priorities, we've taken a bold and we think decisive choice to create a framework in which we can move investment at scale into what we believe will be the future sectors for growth. And this is about growth, yes, in a United Kingdom context, but these challenges will be very familiar to members of the audience because, in a sense, we all face them. The difference in the United Kingdom context is that what we're trying to do is then drive inward investment into those sectors to create clusters in support of developing solutions to those challenges, which in turn, we believe, will create brilliant companies that will both deliver solutions at home but also become the exporters of the future, precisely because we do all face the same challenges. So yes, it was difficult. Yes, it represents a choice. Have we got it right? We'll find out. Probably not for 10, 15 years, but we'll find out. But absolutely, if you want to drive investment at scale into major priorities, then you have to take those decisions.
Exactly. So even governments sometimes need to take a little bit of a risk.
Even governments.
Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, is there a question from your side? If so, can you please put up your hand?
Don't all shout at once. No?
Okay, if there's no question, I have another one for you, perhaps. I saw you further defined the global challenges by putting some mission statements on them. Were you inspired by what happened on the EU level, so to say? Because there was this Matsukata report that said we need like a mission-oriented research and innovation ecosystem. Can you elaborate on that?
So the idea of missions under each of the grand challenges is really to focus very particularly on outcomes. Again, one of the risks with a strategy is it becomes a statement of an end position without actually being an outcome in itself. So if we want to tackle, for example, the question of obesity, then we need to drive investment towards that very particular mission. So in each of the sectors that we're effectively placing under the grand challenges within the industrial strategy, we set ourselves very particular missions. And that helps then to bring government and multiple government departments very often, tackling obesity is a very good example of this, alongside the research and development community, alongside business. We create a sector deal with the business community that's interested in those particular challenges, again, to baseline expected levels of activity, and also to make a commitment on part of government that says we will invest the following sums in this strategy over the following period. That gives long-term predictability to business, and the mission effectively defines the point at which the problem is solved. So again, this may be counterintuitive in a government context, which is very good at grand strategy, less good sometimes at very particular business outputs, but that's the intention, that we focus on the specific.
Thank you. So you seem to be very good in creating a very profitable business environment. You've got the right framework conditions, top universities, tax incentives, and so on. But are you afraid to become isolated in the future because of the B word?
The B word. Baseball? Yeah, so if we think about our exit from the European Union, I mean, I think sometimes people do see it in terms of the retreat from something. Actually, we don't think of it in those terms. Not to say that there aren't voices that use those words, but certainly from our perspective as policymakers and as representatives of the government, it's actually about embracing a future in which we absolutely engage with the big challenges in the world, and we don't think that at any point we're about to lift the anchor that holds the United Kingdom to the seabed and drift off into the Atlantic. Actually, we'll continue to be a big and important player in Europe. Our friendships, our partnerships will continue to be in Europe, and we look forward to being a big player in Europe in the future.
So You remain as open as ever.
We remain absolutely as open as ever.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big hand to Andrew. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte.